Hello, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill, and I want to welcome you to Living in Balance. I'm going to share with you a really special show today. It has a personal impact and did on my life, and I thought it would be something I wanted to share with you too. We're going to talk about hypnosis, and I thought we'd start with hypnosis and healing, and then I read a book, and the special guest that we have today is the author of that, and I want to talk more about hypnosis and cosmic consciousness. But first, I wanted you to know that hypnosis played a powerful role in my life. I was a smoker, and in 1981 I snuck off and went to a hypnotherapist. Didn't tell anyone because I didn't know if it would work, and it did, and I was so impressed. It was such a positive, powerful tool to assist me in what I wanted to accomplish. And then I did share this particular hypnotherapist with as many friends and colleagues as I could, because I really felt that not only was it something that was working for me, but it was something that could help change people's lives. So today, our program may change your life. Come join us. So beyond hypnosis and healing, we're going to talk about hypnosis and cosmic consciousness with Shelley Stockwell, and I want to welcome you.
I'm so glad to be here.
And you're a bubbly, happy person, and as I read your book, it was wonderful because it reminded me of all those things that we need to remind ourselves about: feeling positive and being happy, controlling our lives. And beyond that, though, the book, and I love the title, The Search for Cosmic Consciousness, and the subtitle, The Hypnosis Book Einstein Would Have Loved.
We're talking to him. We hope he's listening.
I think he's with us today. And you have been, I have a title for you, or a label, as a transpersonal hypnotherapist.
That's correct.
Okay. Explain that.
Transpersonal, that means we take ourselves one step beyond our personality, which is our kind of unconscious or subconscious imprinting or ideas about who we are, and we go one step above that, and we rise above our own personality and go to a kind of more expanded awareness of who we are and what we are, and our place in the cosmos, our place in the universe.
And your role is to assist other people then in making that step, taking that step. It's another one of those steps along our path and our journey.
Yes, I see myself as a mirror holder. And so people come to me, I hold the mirror, and they reflect on who they really are. And we do that through many vehicles. Of course, I believe everything is hypnosis. And we use different hypnotic tools, which would be past life regression. We might do a soul retrieval. We may do something that has to do with a breathing technique, like holotropic breathing or rebirthing breathing. We may do energy work. And all of those techniques are to bring the same result, and that's for you to fall madly and completely in love with who you are, Georgia.
Yeah, just loving ourselves.
And have fun.
Yeah, and that's the joyous part about it. But you know what I did like too is that the approach that you use does, again, remind us how wonderful we are. Okay, and this mind of ours, the brain, you explain the difference in how that works together, and we're supposed to step out of ourselves and like look at what we're doing and look at our life. And you know, we need to do that, don't we? I mean, it helps in every aspect of our life.
Completely helps. You know, we sometimes get so involved in these little small details of our lives, and we get so caught up in our dramas. We have these high dramas, and we sometimes relive old traumas again and again and again as dramas. And if you can just rise above that and just see the movie you're shooting, see the actors you hired in your movie, if you can rise above and just see how you're setting it up to create this incredible extravaganza, and then rewrite the movie so it's the kind of movie that feels great, then your earth walk's terrific.
And you know, it's interesting because a lot of us use that analogy of the movie, but that is really what it is about, isn't it?
Yes.
That's when we can like step out of it and watch what George is doing in her movie, and like you said, who I've allowed in there. And maybe I want to rewrite that script.
Yeah, you know, some people, they hire the same husband again and again. It's usually their father or something, or they hire the same mother, or they, you know, and it's just so much nicer to hire people that will bring you to a new level of harmony with yourself.
But see, you have to know that you're in that producer's role, you're in the director's role, you have control over your life. And that's part of this too. It's empowering and it's getting our power back.
That's right. Now, one of the things we wrote about, I wrote this book with Orman McGill. He's 87 years old, and he's the dean of American hypnosis. He's a brilliant, wonderful man. And what we tried to do together was to help people put themselves in the driver's seat of their own mind or their own consciousness. You know, you have different modes of thought. And through hypnosis, you can enter into those modes of thought and really become the master controller, or master your mind, or become a true mastermind.
Yes, and I like that terminology too. I want to go back to Albert Einstein, because he is throughout the book. You have quoted him, you have looked at him. He must be maybe a guru to you.
You know, he wasn't until I started working on the book. And it was Orman's idea. He said, this book is for Albert Einstein. And Orman's a conscious channel. I mean, he walks around in a trance all the time. And I too am a trance channel. And so I started tuning in on Albert Einstein, and he says so many marvelous things. And so we quote him quite a bit.
Oh, you did?
Every chapter is a quote by Einstein.
Oh, I just loved it. I mean, I really did. There were some in here that I read, and this one was especially perfect.
Oh, let's hear the one you like.
All religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree. All these aspirations are directed toward ennobling human life, lifting it from the sphere of mere physical existence and leading the individual towards freedom. Oh, how powerful.
What a guy he must have been. There's another quote. I don't know it exactly.
There's some fun ones, too.
The one I love is, he says, it's like you're a child. Life is like a child, and you're walking through this library, and there are books on all the walls. And you know that the books are in some kind of order, and you know the books have something in them of value. You're just too little yet to read them or even know the order, but you know there's something magical in the journey. Yes. And isn't that just beautiful?
Yeah, that is.
He had to have been a cool dude.
I think so. Well, he has influenced us greatly, has he not?
He has.
The other influence that you use throughout the book, and you have to tell us about that, the butterflies. Oh. Every chapter begins with a butterfly, so I knew they had to be really special to you. And I think symbols are important as far as, you know, understanding who you are too. Like, what are you drawn to? So what is the butterfly, and why is the butterfly a part of your book?
Well, first of all, we're talking about transformation. We're taking you from that little child in the library who's like a little caterpillar crawling along, trying to do it right, trying to please the big people, trying to make life work. And there's a moment in time, it's the moment of truth, it's the walkabout, it's the vision quest, where we get all tied up, kind of like Bob in what was that movie? What About Bob? You know, he was all tied up. We get all tied up in our little cocoon, and then we have this moment where the epiphany, where we break free, where we become expanded like the butterfly, and we come out of that cocoon and we are free. We have a certain sense of upliftment that we're searching for. We really instinctively know it's theirs. It's probably the return to the source. Mm-hmm. Now, the butterflies have another significance, and that is Orman McGill, my co-author. He collects butterflies. He has one of the most extensive collections I've ever seen. They're just beautiful. Yeah. From all over the world, and he actually was a dealer in butterflies. I know some of them are endangered, so maybe that's not such a good thing anymore. However, they're just gorgeous. He collects butterflies and moths. They're just great. And most of these pictures were taken, we take people to places like Bali and to Egypt. Most of these butterfly pictures were taken by my husband in Egypt. Oh. I mean, in Bali, not in Egypt, in Bali, and they're very exotic and they're very beautiful, and you see them in all phases of their life.
Yes.
And butterflies are interesting. Some of them have a very short lifespan. Some of them live for years. And there's a butterfly park in Bali where you can actually go and you can watch a butterfly go through the struggle of coming out of the cocoon. Now, if you help the butterfly out of the cocoon, he'll die or she'll die.
That is one of the stories.
Or it will die, I don't know. However, if they go through that struggle, there's a few moments where their wings are wet, they can't fly, and they'll sit on your finger. And they'll look at you, and you have a real communion with these wonderful beings. And then they instinctively know where to go, and they have mating rituals, and so the book is about transformation, and butterflies to me symbolize transformation.
Absolutely, I mean, it's perfect.
And of course, really I like the word transformation because you use the trance state as the way to go into the cocoon so you can have fun at your own expanse. So you can expand.
Well, we have our audience with us, and it is your class. And one of the things you're doing is you are teaching and sharing this with others so that they too can become hypnotherapists.
Well, this particular class are actually, they're being certified as spiritual counselors.
Ah, okay.
And some are hypnotherapists and some are not hypnotherapists. They are learning how to master their mind, though, so that they can actually offer counsel and guidance to other people.
So another step along their path.
Another step along. And most of the people in my class are teachers themselves. And you know how the world is perfect. I'm very lucky because what I draw to my class seems to be teachers. So I get to learn while I teach.
I think that is the perfect exchange and balance, is
Yeah,
it not?
you have the same kind of experience.
Absolutely.
You invite teachers to your show.
And what's so fun about it, like I said in reading your book, it's then I get to be reminded of those things that are important and powerful, and I get spiritually, just sort of like renewed again, because I'm learning what's most important to you, what is your passion, and what have you learned that you want to share with everybody. That's what the author does and the teacher does.
That's right. And when you're a hypnotherapist or when you're a spiritual counselor, your job is to get into center so that you can be a good mirror holder. Well, in being in center, you really are in that force of life that I noticed before the show began. You did a wonderful invocation where you invoke the light through your spine, and every time you get into center, you make your spine a little straighter, you bring in the light, you get to feel really good.
Well, we do call it living in balance. And if you'll stay with us, we'll have another segment. And if you'll stay tuned, we will be right back with more of Shelley Stockwell. And if you are just joining us, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill, and our subject is hypnosis. Hypnosis and cosmic consciousness, and I love that. We're going to talk more about that. But when I was reading the bio on Shelley Stockwell, our guest, it mentioned that she was a collector of turtles. And I thought, well, I've read a lot of bios, but I wondered why she wanted to share that with us. So I'm asking, tell us about turtles.
Well, I think turtles only make progress when they stick their neck out.
Okay.
But I love turtles. I collect turtles. I have hundreds and hundreds of little ceramic turtles. Everybody I know gives me a turtle. And so, I also collect boxes. Now, I don't know the significance. Maybe one of your listeners can figure out what it means when you like turtles with box shells and boxes. Something about that enclosure just fascinates me. And when I did my very first past life regression, I was a giant tortoise.
Oh.
I was amazed. I already had hundreds of collections of turtles, hundreds of little turtles, and there I was this big land tortoise. It was a very long lifetime. I had a very pleasant life. I remember the sound of the wind whipping through my shell, and there was one cat I didn't like. He tormented me. And I don't know where I was, except I was by a wall that was white walls. Maybe it was Greece or somewhere, or maybe in South America it was like a white wall, and I could still smell the smell of the wall.
That's fascinating. I've never met anybody who had a past life as a tortoise. Okay, but let's talk about this cosmic consciousness. Now, you've defined it as enlightenment, illumination, cosmic consciousness. You want us all to get there. So what does it mean to you? Where do you want us to be? What is the purpose of all of this? Your spiritual counselors, where are they supposed to take us to in our cosmic consciousness?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you become happy. See, I believe that most people live their life like they're a brain with a body dangling off of it. If the body gets sick, the brain gets ticked off. And then somewhere along the way, somebody goes, whoa, I live in here, like this is my hand. This is my body. And then the next step is to find the third note on the scale of awareness, which is to realize that you are more than a body, more than a mind, that you are really a consciousness. And hypnosis is a wonderful way to get there. I could teach your listeners how to do hypnosis.
I asked if you would, and you said you can do it in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds.
Yeah, teach them how to hypnotize
Let's
themselves.
do it.
Self-hypnosis.
All of you out there, I know you want to learn how to hypnotize yourself. So help you quit smoking, lose weight, or expand your awareness. And have fun at your own expanse. Take a deep breath. Let it out. And close your eyes. Relax your eyelids so much they don't feel like opening. When you've done a really good job of relaxing your eyelids, you test them. only to discover they don't feel like opening. Then you stop testing them and you say the word blue and let blue wash through your body and mind like a blue sky or a deep blue ocean. Now take a gentle breath. 5. Bring yourself into a beautiful scene from your imagination. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And with a gentle breath now, go right into center the way you do when you're deep in sound and slumber. And from this place now, imagine yourself being radiant, full of light. That's right. Imagine yourself joyous. Imagine yourself releasing from your consciousness anyone or anything that's hurt you. Imagine yourself in perfect wellness. Take a gentle breath. And now let a giggle just travel through your whole body and your whole mind. You feel so glad to be alive. Yes, and blue, open your eyes. A big stretch. Palms above your head, Georgia. Just big stretch. The word is yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We were just hypnotized.
You were just hypnotized. Now, if you look around the world, look around your studio here and your listeners, you look around your world, you'll see that the world looks a little softer or a little brighter. Now, what you've done is you literally slowed down your brain waves. You slowed them to alpha and theta. When you slow down your brainwave patterns, you can more easily take on suggestion, and that is hypnosis. Now, we go in and out of trance every day. If you're driving down the road and you miss the exits on the freeway, or if you're getting a runner's high, or if you're making love, or you're laughing a lot, or you're reading a book and you get all involved in the characters, or you're in a boring meeting and you get bored out of your mind, those are all trance states your brain waves have slowed. When you do that, you can take on suggestion. Now, if you can monitor your own brainwave patterns and give yourself positive affirmations and suggestions, then you can have whatever you want.
Well, that's why I want to talk about hypnosis and healing and ask you if we could be very practical in this, because there are people who can use that as a tool to heal cancer, to heal arthritis, to heal anything that is wrong with our body, anything we have that has put us in disease. How do you use it? Because I know this is a powerful tool that could be used.
It's a very powerful tool. Well, we know that a lot of attitude has to do with how we feel. If we feel very depressed, we very often get very sick. When we feel uplifted, we generally are pretty healthy. And vice versa. You know, if you get sick, it's a downhill spiral. So if you want to use hypnosis for wellness, you do that same process of checking your eyelids, and then you would either dialogue with the symptoms. Let's say you have a place that's cancerous. You find out what that part of your being would like to say to you, and then after it's said whatever it needs to say, you can say, very well, thank you for sharing that. I don't need you here anymore to get my attention. And so it's time for you to leave. And you can do that by visualizations. You might visualize little Pac-Man eating the cancer. You might imagine it recycling. You know, you might, you know what we say, you know, flowers grow from something. You put it on the earth and let it grow something new and healthy. Let it grow new cells. Imagine yourself breathing out the cancerous cells, let's say in that case. If, let's say, you're dealing with pain, you want to eliminate pain. What you do is you can literally rise above it and just observe your pain as you would observe waves on the shore and not get engaged in it. And that will stop a lot of the pain that you're feeling.
So you just wash that, let it just go out. The pain just leave.
Let it go. Now, you know, your mind can only grasp one thing at a time. So a good thing you can do too for pain is focus your attention on the part of your body that feels the best. Let's say the tip of your nose feels great. Then let the nose feel, just go through your whole body. And if you do that, then the other loses some of its power on you.
Well, you know, one of the things that you kept coming back to was this idea of joy and happiness. Now, I know that I'm happy most of the time. Every once in a while, when I'm not, I can just make a shift in consciousness and I can control that myself personally.
Yes.
And that's what you're reminding us of this too?
And I want to say this is such a simple thing. The next time you're feeling blue, this is for all your listeners, force a smile across your chops. I mean, literally force it. You know, and then say to yourself, now I'm going to force a laugh and force a laugh. And literally you'll change the chemistry of your brain, which will change your attitude. You have more endorphins in the brain, then you'll feel better.
That smiling works. One thing we'll just touch upon again, because also as a part of healing, people use hypnosis and reincarnation, and we can call it our immortality and past lives, also that terminology, to release something that happened in a past life that was negative that's affecting us now. So that's the purpose sometimes of going into hypnosis for reincarnation?
Well, not necessarily reincarnation. We have within our consciousness vivid memories of other places in time. We also have vivid memories of the future as well as the past. We have vivid memories of between lifetimes. And I put memories, I'm not sure what that means, but within our own consciousness, we seem to know a lot more than we're aware we know. When we go to any of these thought form images, you can overlay them on your life in the here and now, and you can use them as a perfect storyline to get the gift. So what did you learn from this, this experience?
Okay.
And so it could be pain, it could be where do I know this person from? You can, let's say you wanted to be an herbologist. You could regress to a lifetime when you knew everything about herbs, and then you come back from that lifetime gleaning the wisdom from that memory. You can do time travel for so many. You can go into the future and create a reality for yourself because, you know, as Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you can't, you're correct. You go into the future, you think you can, you create that thought form, and it's so.
Well, you know, and one of the lines from the book I loved was from the Buddha, and it was change your mind about happiness, miserableness, virtue, and evil. And you want us to kind of really come to a centered place where we're not affected by those things around us.
Positive neutrality.
Okay.
Sounds a little contradictory, but it's not. And I think the best way to think of it is this. Imagine life as a big wheel. You have a choice as you go along in this wheel. You can ride the wheel from the rim and bounce along all the rocks and stones, or you can enjoy your life from the hub and just cruise along your life and enjoy the journey.
Words of wisdom. Well, I really have appreciated what you shared with us today. It really is powerful. And I think that you showed us what an easy and simple process it can be for that self-hypnosis to be a really wonderful tool.
Easy as that.
And coming right back out of it smiling. So I thank you.
Thank you. It was wonderful being with you.
Now, if you would like to be in touch with Shelley, stay tuned. We'll let you know how. And then also, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll have some parting thoughts. And so, in this search for cosmic consciousness or enlightenment or illumination, we can use hypnosis as a tool, a very positive and powerful tool. Loving ourselves, just coming to happiness and joy. That's what we really want to do. That's what we need to do. That's what we can do. And here's one other way that we can do it. Until next time, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.